Matt, one of the storylines staring us down the face is the Pittsburgh Steelers, the draft, obviously being on the North Shore of Pittsburgh, as we all know, for the first time. It's going to be chaos, but it's going to be a lot of fun. And the Steelers, with their 12 draft picks in this upcoming draft, Matt Miller of ESPN.com did his first and ESPN's first full 7-round mock draft.
Whoa.
Now, Matt,
That's an insane endeavor.
That's an insane endeavor, I think.
Good for him.
Good for him. And, all the 12 picks for the Steelers are here. I don't need to roll through all 12 of these names and who he's predicting that the Steelers are going to.
I wouldn't mind hearing them.
Okay, well,
we're going to spend a ton of time on them and some of them we might not even know, but yeah.
But what I like about this, and we really typically only reference these mock exercises if it's something different, if it's something outside of the box.
Yeah,
if it's names
we're not going to cite every mock on the internet.
Exactly right. And a lot of them have had the Steelers taking
though.
Similar guys. But this one, pretty different. He's got all 12 Steelers picks, and most of them, they're names that we've discussed but haven't necessarily in our own mocks or our own conversations pigeonholed for the Steelers.
Okay. I'm interested. I didn't know this was out.
So pick 21 here for the Steelers. Caden Proctor, the offensive tackle out of Alabama.
Yeah, he's one of the – I've got about 4 or 5 names at the O-line spots that I think should be in play. And somebody that could probably start year one at guard, maybe stay there and be great, or maybe go out and challenge at left tackle a year from now. And Proctor's one of them. One of the reasons I haven't brought him up quite as much as Max or Fano or those dudes.
Venga,
but I don't know. The thing about Venga is I don't think he can bounce out to left. He's going to stay there at left guard.
He might have the highest ceiling at guard of all those guys, but he doesn't project to potentially play tackle one day.
Yeah, but I do think the Hoffman signing just reiterated what the Steelers are looking for under McCarthy at the O-line position is more movement. The only reason Dallas didn't bring him back is because they're looking for like the biggest line in the league, and Hoffman's 300-ish pounds and can struggle to hold a lot of weight. He's not a behemoth like Proctor or the guys Dallas has.
Proctor 6'7", 350 pounds.
I mean, he's crazy big. Now, I just wonder, does he fit the movement, athleticism requirements or guidelines they're looking for in Pittsburgh? Because he is not slow-footed or not athletic, but I don't think he's out of the equation.
I don't either. You said it right. We haven't mentioned him as much as obviously Venga Ioane from Penn State, Fanu from Utah, Maxie and Nate Shore from Arizona State. Had some fun conversation with him with some Sun Devils at the baseball.
Think about that.
Baseball game because they were like Jordan Tyson and Ian H. are going to end, or they asked me about Tyson. They said, is Jordan Tyson going to end up in the black and gold? And I was like, I don't know, but I would like to see Maxie and H. end up there. And they were like, oh, really? I was like, we love that guy. So
they got a linebacker, they got a safety.
They sure do.
They have a very underrated linebacker.
But Proctor's another one that's in that conversation.
I think so.
Could be a versatile
fit that
piece,
bill, right? I would totally
ceiling,
understand it, right?
And could be available right in that range where the Steelers pick at 21. 53. This one really raised my eyebrows, Matt. Garrett Nussmeier, quarterback out of LSU, for the Steelers' 2nd overall pick.
Yeah, I've gone down this road a lot because he's my quarterback 3 behind Simpson and obviously.
And I think pretty, not unanimously, but pretty consistently.
Consensus.
Yeah. Yes.
And I 100% get it. And I was listening to a podcast that Greg Cosell was on this morning, just talking about his tape from a year ago, and he 1,000% thought Nussmeier, based off 2024 tape, is a NFL starting quarterback. That doesn't mean he's the best in the league, but I mean he's an NFL starting quarterback, which is a lot of praise. I mean, that's not you don't throw those terms around, and that doesn't mean he's just one of 32. Like he's a legit dude.
Yes.
And I 100% get that. And boy, he definitely played through a lot of injuries that hurt his stock and changed his motion and core body injuries and things of that nature. And they have a great connection with his dad, So I could see this pick because I bet they're high on him, and I guarantee they know more about him. I'd just be so much more comfortable with the third round.
Same here.
You know what I mean?
If it's any of those third-round picks, I'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
53,
or even
though.
if you combine two of them to move up in the third round or something like that. I just don't want to pass on a receiver after going O-line
and
to take him.
That's where I was going to go. Like, for the purpose of this exercise, right after 53, the Eagles take Antonio Williams, the wide receiver out of Clemson.
Okay.
A few picks later, the Jags take Jacob Rodriguez, linebacker out of Texas Tech, that we've talked a lot about. I wanted to see what other Maxey and H.R. goes 63 to the Patriots.
I mean, if you took Proctor, you probably wouldn't double down. But
sure.
I mean, if you knew, I'd be.
Chris Bell still on the board out of Louisville.
Yeah.
Malachi Fields still on the board. Yeah. So that was the only thing for me is, man, there's some real names there that you would like after him that could certainly have a much more tangible impact on your immediate 2026 season and results.
Sure. Or you might look back at it in 5 years and, like, you drafted a starting quarterback in the second round, and that's a steal. You know?
No doubt. No doubt. So Caden Proctor, 21st. Garrett Nussmeier, quarterback out of LSU, 53. With the 3 third-round picks. Jennings Dunker, the guard from Iowa, 76th overall.
Okay. And there's maybe right tackle, maybe guard. I'd lean towards guard. Shocked that – not that I'm all-knowing by any stretch, but, like, I'm shocked that anybody else would double down on O-line that early.
Right,
You know, that's something that's kind of one of my moves. Again, I can't go 3 picks without a wideout.
Oh.
And I don't have a problem with any one of the 3 players.
That's where I'm at, too.
Yeah, you can't
And as much as you and I think that there's good wideouts all throughout this draft available,
you can't wait forever.
You can't wait for at least, your 4th pick here. But,
yeah,
because I have no problem with the 3 players selected here.
Sure. And I think the value's fine for all of them and all that stuff. It's just I can't go this long without a number 3 receiver on my team.
Exactly right. And then at pick 85, Matt, 3rd round, pick B in the 3rd round, Tyler Odiedim, the defensive tackle out of A&M. So defensive line there with the 4th pick at 85. Saying basically Cam Hayward's 37. So, yeah, they added Sebastian Joseph Day, but he's 31. This is about the future of the defensive line.
Okay. He's not a player I know a ton about. I've not seen anyone else project him to the 3rd round.
I was going to say, this is probably the highest I've seen him go.
Yeah.
And the first time I've seen him mentioned in the Steelers conversation.
And when I see a name like that, March, early April, I'm going to go dig into him more. Yeah, I mean, maybe I just haven't – I know I haven't done a lot of work on him. So I'm interested. But, again, I don't know that D-line is going to get addressed that early because I don't think any of the players are really absolutely worth it. I mean, unless Banks should happen to fall or something crazy like that.
Sure.
And, again, can't say it's enough. I mean, you can't go 4 picks without taking a wideout.
You definitely can't go 4.
No.
3, I don't think you can. You definitely can't go 4. So
I'd have a hard time going 2.
At pick 99, 5th overall pick, 3rd of the 3rd round, finally has the Steelers selecting a wide receiver, Chris Brazzell II out of Tennessee.
Oh,
Which to get him at pick 99 would be good value. I would sign up. I would sign up for that part of this right now.
You stole the words out of my mouth. I'll trade you 99 for Brazzell this second.
Today, tomorrow, any of the 24 days between now and the draft.
I think there's a better chance he sneaks into round 1 than lasts till end of round 3.
Pick 99.
Right.
Yeah.
But that would be wonderful. But that would alleviate the problems. Not that he's the total answer, but
sure,
getting him that late would be wow.
Yes, it would be. It would certainly be wow. So that's 5 of the Steelers' 12. Here's where else they have it playing out. Pick 121 for the Steelers. Jacoby Thomas, the safety from the U.
Okay. Older player, really good player, safety / slot. Sign me up for that too.
So that's pick 6. Let's see here. Pick 7, Katron Allen, running back from Penn State. We've talked about him a little bit with Jack Ham last week.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, he's not super dynamic. He would not be a home run Pro Bowl type guy, but coaches love him because he does all the dirty work, grinder, good in protection, solid player. I could see him developing some special team skills, just kind of knowing his background and the way he plays the game. They have so many picks that after a while, what's funny is, like, if you publish a mock draft or if you throw something out there like this and you have the Steelers taking a running back, why on earth would they take a running back? Because they got a million picks.
They got 12
and what
picks.
else? You got to take? We're going to take 5 receivers,
And you need some competition for Caleb Johnson. You can't just give him the 3rd running back position. Up next is Trey Moore, edge rusher from Texas.
Okay. I don't know that edge would be in the mix.
I don't either, but
Yeah.
hey, maybe if,
It's the same argument if you have a million picks.
Exactly right. Exactly
and one you love's there.
Pick 216 for the Steelers, Colin Wright, the corner out of Stanford.
Okay. Don't know a lot about him, and this is a part of the draft that I'm still getting pretty deep.
Yes.
But, yeah, I mean, a corner in this neighborhood to me would make some sense.
Now, this is funny. Into the 7th round, pick 224, the Steelers select Caleb Proctor. Another one, the defensive tackle from southeastern Louisiana.
He had to do that on purpose.
Wouldn't that be hilarious if the Steelers drafted a Caden Proctor and then a Caleb Proctor, both on different sides of the ball?
I don't know if they're related or not.
That's
He's
fantastic.
a D tackle.
He's a D tackle.
Okay.
Yeah, and I know.
I would have done that on purpose if I were Matt Miller in that one. Just chuckle to yourself and see if anyone notices.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That made me laugh. And then 2 more here. Julian Neal, cornerback from Arkansas.
Okay. I've seen him projected a lot higher than that, 4th, 5th round.
And then Isaiah World, the offensive tackle out of Oregon.
So he's a dude that I actually know a fair amount about because he was highly, highly recruited, highly regarded, and his tape's just bad. I mean, he gets beat a lot. But there's height, weight, speed, and traits and all those things, and he is, the traits of a starting offensive tackle. Chances are that he won't get there based off what we've seen on film. But to roll the dice there and maybe sit him on the practice squad for a year and develop him and get a new offensive line coach to work with him and who knows, figure out what the problems were, and maybe he never gets heard from again. But that's a great dice roll.
I
mean, you're talking about a 7th rounder there, right?
You're talking about a 7th rounder, your last pick. He's 6'8".
That's huge, yeah.
320. Had a little bit of I think part of the reason why he falls to the 7th round is he didn't participate in the combine because of a ACL concern.
Right.
So
maybe he just redshirts his entire rookie year and go from there.
And if that's your 12th pick, you're taking a flyer on a guy like that, fine.
And what's actually kind of nice is maybe even put somebody like that on IR, so he doesn't have to clear waivers, he doesn't have to go to the practice squad, and then next preseason, not this upcoming one, he plays a ton and be like, oh, maybe he can stick with it. Yeah, maybe he can stick.
Yes. Just wanted to look at the top of his projections here too, Matt, quickly before we go to break. Fernando Mendoza first to the Raiders, no shocker there.
I'm curious what was on the board at 21.
Arvell Reese, second to the Jets. That's starting to become pretty chalky, as it feels like is Francis Mauigoa going 3rd to the Cardinals. Jeremiah Love, 4th to the Tennessee Titans.
Okay.
That feels like one of the real wild cards here in the top 10. If he goes there, I think that's good for the Steelers.
I think he goes 4, 5, 6.
I can't see him getting out of the top 10, certainly. I don't think he goes to Kansas City potentially at 9 anymore now that they have Kenneth Walker.
No, I think he's gone by then.
But Jeremiah Love, 4th to the Titans. Great piece there for Cam Ward in that offense. Caleb Downs, 5th to the Giants.
I totally understand.
Should ask John Harbaugh when I bumped into him walking in here today what he thinks about Caleb.
Downs,
What do you think about those Ohio State safeties, Coach? Number 6, another Ohio State guy, Carnell Tate, wide receiver, goes to the Browns at 6.
Very possible.
They need a lot of help on that offense.
They do.
That will be a good piece. 7, the Commanders take Mansour Delane. That's the highest I think we've seen him mocked, the corner out of LSU.
A little rich for my blood, but.
Number 8, the Saints take edge rusher from Texas Tech, David Bailey.
I would think they'd be quite happy with that.
Number 9, back-to-back edge rushers off the board. The Chiefs take Reuben Bain Jr. out of Miami.
I think he's going to go in the top 10 when it's all said and done.
I think so, too. The arm length is a concern, but other than that, he checks a lot of boxes.
Really good,
10, I think the Bengals would love this. They might even sign for this in blood right now. Sonny Styles falls there to Cincinnati at 10.
That's the dream pick for them.
That is the dream pick for them. 11, Mekhi Lemon becomes the second wide receiver off the board. He goes to the Dolphins. A nice piece from Malik Willis.
Good start. Yeah.
He needs something there. 12th, Jermod McCoy, cornerback out of Tennessee, who will finally see him run
tomorrow,
right? Tuesday at his pro day. The first time in 14 months that he's done anything really since tearing his ACL.
It's obviously critical for him.
Oh, his 2024 tape is incredible. But the last time he played a game was against Will Howard and Jack Sawyer in Ohio State all the way back in January of 2025.
So maybe we'll start to see him projected in this neighborhood over and over.
Especially if he runs well tomorrow.
Yeah.
13, Spencer Fanu, the tackle guard out of Utah, goes to the Rams. 14, oh man, I wouldn't like this. Kenyon Sadiq, the tight end from Oregon, ends up with the Ravens. 15th, C.J. Allen, linebacker.
I'd jump on that if I were them.
Yeah, he could be one of the top 5 or 6 players in this draft.
Yeah, yeah.
15, the Bucks take C.J. Allen, the linebacker out of Georgia. Of course,
a little early, but big need.
But Levante David just retired.
Yeah, yeah.
16, this is the Jets pick from the Sauce Gardner trade with the Colts. They take Jordan Tyson. So 3 wide receivers off the board there in the top 16.
I was curious what receivers the Steelers would have been looking at.
Yeah, the Arizona State guy from just about 6 or 7 miles down the road here, as I can attest to from last night.
Popular in this neck of the woods.
Number 17, Detroit Lions take Monroe Freeling, the true left tackle
think they'd be thrilled with
out
that.
of Georgia.
Yeah.
I think that much like we said with Cincinnati, I think they might sign in blood for that right now.
Yes.
This, too, is starting to become a very popular mock. The Minnesota Vikings take Dylan Thieneman, safety, out of Oregon.
Real chalky, yeah.
Replace Harrison Smith. 19, Venga Ioane, guard out of
I was curious
Penn
if he was
State.
out there. Okay.
And then 20, right before the Steelers, the Cowboys take Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, the safety out of Toledo.
Okay. Yeah, and in that scenario, I wouldn't have no problem with Proctor. I mean,
Right.
everyone knows I like Ian Chore a lot, but I mean, still, Proctor makes a ton of sense there.
He sure does. Sure does. The real shocker of this whole thing to me was Caleb Banks going 31st to the Patriots. I feel like he's way more likely in day 2 than he is day 1
Me
now
too.
with a lot of the health concerns and things like that.